Well, hello, city, hello, world, and welcome to another installation of the Gospel Jazz Connection. Man, this has been a smooth week. It's been a great week. It's been a beautiful week, you know what? But we're still doing it. It's not over yet. Not over by a long shot. But you know what? We've come a long way. Ladies and gentlemen, for those, I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but I was watching, just happened to be channel surfing yesterday and happened to roll up on the Miss USA pageant. And man, was I surprised. Okay? Not to make a spoiler alert, but saying congratulations. First time I saw it out of all those 50-something states, 51 states, 50 states, 51 with the last guy. I'm thinking, see, don't have me trying to get my geography down correct on air. But out of all the ladies that were there, I was shocked to find out that the top 10 finalists consisted of 5 black, 4 white, and 1 Hispanic. And then they went on to alleviate down to the top 3, which came to be 2 black and 1 Hispanic. And then, after the dust cleared, it came down to, drum roll, yes, the new Miss MISS USA is Miss North Carolina Kakalaki. An African-American woman did it. So the sisters were in the house last night real tight, and I like that. So I said to myself, finally they got it right. And then they brought out the Miss Teen USA that took place 4 days earlier. And she was a black young lady, black teenager. So we got Miss Teen USA and Miss USA, both African American. So my hat's off to the African American women. It's always been off to the African American women. Thank Miss M, who's with us today, and Woman of Prominence, and Miss Lady herself, Linda Coleman Willis. And then we got our boy just jogging in the door. I guess he felt like I was being overwhelmed or something like that, right? So he wants to roll up. So that ain't no problem. But that's okay. I got it under control, man. We got 2 beautiful women that know about the diversity. They know about everything else. I see you. And he said, if we got it covered, I'll be right back. Okay, do what you do. Anyway, so I'm D-Nice. This is Gospel Jazz Connection. And for those that don't know, what we do each and every week is we come on and we talk about things that are relevant in this world today, in the world of madness, in the world of, the wild, wild west, let's put it that way. Then there's some light at the end of the darkness. And to help us talk about it today, 2 young ladies, and then we'll bring in our other guy later. But these young ladies are, all a part of the fabric. The first one we bring in today, she has been the source of the fabric in L.A. for so many years. It's just, wow, incredible when you find a lady that fits all the criteria on what Proverbs talks about as far as saying a woman that is reserved and revered by her husband, that virtuous woman. We're talking about this young lady, Linda Coleman Willis. Ladies and gentlemen, this lady is an author. She's a life coach. She's worked with politics with the Obama campaign. That's a milestone that a lot of people would have liked to have done. She's not only written best-selling books, but she's still doing her seminars on how to write a book, and she's also doing ghostwriting. And she is now working with us here. We finally snatched her up. She's also been on a television show when we first started back in the day with Marla Gibbs and Miss M on Woman of Prominence. So we're still going about it today in television, and she's on the show that she runs that's called Millennial Journals, and she'll tell you a little bit more about what that does. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome to the platform Miss Linda Coleman Willis. Linda, what's going on with you there?
Nice. Thank you. I am excited and delighted to be here this evening, and we're going to talk about diversity, which is one of my topics. But let me say the Millennial Journal is a cable TV show. And what we do is, I'm a boomer, as you can see, and we talk with our millennials. We interview them. We give them a safe place to come, and let's have an open, honest, frank conversation about the differences, about the challenges, about how to bridge that gap between the millennials and the boomers. and Gen X, which most of their parents are. So it's an exciting show. It's exciting for me because I'm out there. I'm always meeting them. And I have to say they are different, but so are we.
That's putting it kind of light.
There are managers are taking classes on how to manage a millennial. But they have their X's and O's just like we have our X's and O's.
Right.
And so once we open up the dialogue and start to communicate open and honestly and not blame them or accuse them, but listen to them and have an open dialogue. And that's what we do on the Millennial Journal. And I am excited to be a part of it.
And, and I appreciate that because, like I said, so many times, man, we're stuck with how do we get here and what for? And they're part of our gray hairs. Let me put it like that. Any parents that's had a child that's now millennial age, they've got gray hairs behind it. And if you've escaped that, give me the secret. I'm gonna patent it. So so I appreciate what you bring to the show, and it's a great show, and we look forward to finding more ways to bridge that gap.
Yes.
This next young lady, she's been the fabric for a long time in the scenario with Women of Prominence. I work with her in the organization. I do the video aspect. I put the face to the faces that are there. And so this lady's been around a long time. She's in a profession where she's a part of the defense contract world, so that's a whole different world, that engineering world, that space age world. So she's got that engineering, analytical type mind, but she also has a love for what she does too, working with young people, with women, and with all the other people that need her to work with them, and that's what she does. And so today, bringing her on again, you know her from radio and television as the adorable Miss Emma. So there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Emma, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on in your life right now.
Just work, and more work, and I try to fit in as much community service as I can. Like tomorrow, there's an event down at Trade Tech where Dawn Lewis, the actress, is providing STEM classes and training to our kids that are in junior high. Well, junior high, I'm dating myself. They call it middle school now, and high school, and trying to encourage them to go after scholarships and get funding to go to college to graduate and become engineers. And to think out of the box. Don't just think that I'm going to grow up and be a nurse. I'm going to be an engineer now. So they're going to be out there all day long from 8 o'clock to 5. She's going to feed them. She's giving them school supplies. And we're trying to get as many of our African American kids out there as we can.
I love it. And I just, I put him on the spot too. See, I had the camera up and let him walk in the middle of this one here because see, he comes sliding in the home base.
That's what we do, huh?
Yeah, man. Hey, this young man is one of the guys that's been in the music biz for a long time. He's written numerous songs that we've known and loved. And if you hear him, you're like, oh, man, who wrote that? Oh, and you look behind the scenes, he's getting the royalty checks or some of them. We ain't gonna call the ones I need to go and get the collections from. Wow. But anyway, so this man has been doing the music thing, and he's still doing it. He's with a new group. He'll tell you a little bit about the Funkalicious, and they've been hitting the scene strong, man. They bringing the funk back and keeping the funk alive, so to speak. The George Clinton area with the spaceship and stuff like that. The only thing is he doesn't drive a spaceship anymore. He's graduated to the 18-wheeler. He's keeping it on the ground.
He got the
it's easier in traffic.
We on a time machine, baby.
I got you.
Yeah.
So, man, thanks for showing up, man. So, tell us what's been going on with you, Box.
I'm that cat with 1,000 jobs, so and I just slid on in here
yes,
too. So I just want to tell everybody, God bless you, and thank God that you're here. And how's everybody doing? Everybody, what's up?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm fabulous.
Yeah. And how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Amen.
Yeah.
So, giving shouts out to also, first of all, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Amen.
I must do that. And giving shout out to Pastor Oggs, and out there at AV Kojak. If nobody know what that is, Antelope Valley Church of God in Christ. And then to my folks at Funkalicious, the galactic babies out there. So we're just trying to bring some more fun to music now, basically,
Right.
and we're getting a whole bunch of calls. I mean, you know, when you see us, we got Dr. Q from World on Wheels.
Right.
You know, he doesn't sing, but he does all his little tricks, you know, on roller skates. And, you know, we bring that whole action to you.
Right.
And it's been going, you know, very well. Like I said, we
Cool.
just put out our single. It's called Snakes and Snails.
Okay.
And Puppy Dog Tails, you know.
Okay, I
and
got
all
you.
that, you know. Nothing else, you know. And our music, we don't cuss. We don't do any of that. We all believers in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Right.
And we just see there's a need for fun.
Okay.
Because we see everybody's angry. Everything we see on TV is, you know, is either pornographic or they fighting or killing or, you know, and all the other stuff above. So that's what, you know, the Lord said we could do it again. So we're going to give it a shot in the arm.
No, I like that. I like that because, like I said, we didn't go down and stay out.
Right.
Because they like to knock us down, and you know, it took a while before we figured out, dude, if they knock us down, you know what I'm saying, they're sponging to us.
Right.
There's a backside,
Right.
there's a shoulder, everything we can land on that can help us bounce back up.
Right.
And we've learned how to bounce back up, so they can't keep us down.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm
no.
saying? So that brings us to the topic of the day. The topic of the day hashtag is Diversity Rocks. After what I saw yesterday, shouts out to the ladies that were the finalists and the winners, our sisters in the Miss USA pageant. It was great to see that. So with that being said, we're going to go now to open the floor and just talk about it. And for the next 60 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, just hold on to your hats, because not only do we come up with problems and situations, but we have 3 learned people on that side that are going to give you solutions from 3 different perspectives, so that you can make a concerted effort, at least, to make a decision that's an informed decision. So that being said, Diversity Rocks. Let's kick it off. Ms. Linda, what's going on with you? Let's talk about it.
Well, my experience with diversity has been teaching diversity in corporate America for a long time. I don't do it anymore, but I did it for a long time. And diversity today is so different. It's not just about gender, or it's not just about race anymore. In corporate America, as you probably know, Monica, it's about part-time and full-time employees. It's about language. It's about disability. It's about same-sex, right? Yeah. So there are so many age. There are a lot of aged. I guess you would say aged employees now.
Yes.
Yeah. So diversity covers a whole list of things. It's not just about race and gender. But one of the things that I find interesting is, even with news people, I hear them using incorrect terminology on television. For instance, we are African Americans, and some people like to be called black, but they always go back to those black sheep. They don't understand what that means, or black ball or black list or dark horse. I hear that a lot, the dark horse.
Right.
They don't know the history of those terms, because what are you saying? They're the outcasts.
Yeah.
And black back then was always, everything bad was labeled black.
It was.
Yeah.
And so I come from that, probably maybe a deeper place on diversity than you guys. I'm not sure. But another terminology I hear a lot is people calling Asians Orientals.
Yeah.
Oriental is
Yes.
furniture
Oh, yeah. My
or
mom
rug
still
or
call them
food.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're Asian.
Yes.
They call Native Americans Indians.
Right.
Okay, they're Native Americans. They were here. So I think to distinguish what you should be saying is understand if that is what we're calling ourselves. You don't hear Asians calling themselves Orientals.
No, you don't.
Yeah, so yeah.
I hear them call it the N-word now.
Yeah.
man.
They're doing that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Like it's a badge of
Who's
courage.
calling who the N-word?
Asians.
Or calling
Anybody
each other?
that is not black, they it blew my mind. I heard it yesterday.
Well, I've heard young kids calling each other. They're not black and they call each other the N-word, but I've never heard an Asian call.
Oh yeah, they're
You
doing
need to go
that too.
outside a little bit more. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's happening. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's,
Yeah, well,
It took
in
me
my
a minute.
opinion, when you're talking about diversity, and it's accepting people for who they are,
Mm-hmm.
and acknowledging how they identify themselves. We were called colored at one time.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't.
Yeah.
We didn't give ourselves that label.
Mm-hmm.
So the rule of thumb is basically if they didn't give themselves that label, you shouldn't be calling them that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
that's somebody
right. That was
else's
given to
terminology.
right. So that's kind of my experience with diversity. And like I said, my teaching and coaching was in corporate America, and it was always we were teaching acceptance, not tolerance.
Right.
Because tolerance just mean, I'll put up with you, but how and the best way to accept someone is to learn about them.
Now, see, I work in corporate America
Yeah.
now, and so the millennials that are working with me, they have a problem with being called African American.
Oh, is that right? What do they want to be called?
I'm asking them now. We're having some meetings coming up on that. It's like, well, what do you want to be called? You don't like
By
the
my
word
name?
black. You don't want to be called African American. What do you want to be called? And they can't come up with anything yet. But they just don't
How do they
want to
feel
be
about
called that.
millennial?
They have an issue with that too.
Oh, yes, they do.
Some of them do. I've
big
interviewed
issue
some
with
of them.
that.
Not all of them, but some of them do. Some of them
Yeah,
do.
they're like, why are you calling us the millennials?
You were born in the millennial.
Yes, you were. And you act a certain way. We've categorized you into that area there. Just like we have Generation X. Like my kids are Generation X. So they're in the middle of all of that. And I could deal more with them than I can with the millennials.
Of course, Gen X raised the millennials, so the further away from us, boomers,
Well, I got millennial
it was
and
different.
down.
At home?
Oh no, they all grown.
Oh, okay, I thought you said at home.
I did too. I
Oh
was
no,
like,
they all grown. Oh no. My oldest,
I was like, you gotta explain that, man,
My
huh?
oldest is 34.
Okay, I got that. Yeah, okay.
I want to throw one more out there because we live in California and it is so diverse, but oftentimes you don't know whether it's Latino. Most of them do not like, for your information, Hispanic.
Right.
Because that was
Yeah.
given to
Yes,
them. That's
yes.
not their name. The most of them. And then, of course, you have Mexicans. And Mexicans are from Mexico. But some Latinos, Latin or wherever they're from, Peru, don't like that term. So, I mean, it can get complicated.
Well, what I wanted to say is it's up to us to learn about each other.
Right.
I mean, if you say Mexican, I mean, growing up doing, we were saying that, but they're Aztecs. Then you have different ones when the Spanish conquest came in, and then you go further down into South America. You have, all the way down Guatemala. You have Belize. You have all these, and just like here in the United States, and I've been out the country maybe 5-6 times, and I've seen the difference, and how we are approached. The way we are, talked to, and this and that and the other. And the difference that I've seen, they judge you pretty much on your character now. Not all countries. I mean, they've been infected by television and, what was said about us here in the United States.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you go to a country, you know what their language is, and based on their language, you usually know what they're calling themselves. But have you been to a country where there were like multi-languages?
Oh yeah.
You didn't know?
You can go down to the Bahamas and get multi-language.
So you should ask, right, or maybe do some research before you go.
Well, I would suggest that. Know where you're going, know something about it, and we have no excuse now. We have apps on our phone that we can communicate, with each other. But back then, I guess I just been blessed because I just fit in. Being background Louisiana, Baton Rouge, all up and down the boot.
Geechees. Is that a bad? Is that bad? Is that bad?
Yeah, we was called Geechee Indians. We was called all type of stuff.
No, I'm saying, is that bad? Because I would hear that term a lot, and it was always for the darker-skinned African Americans. So I'm not sure if that would have anything to do with it or not. I was a kid then.
Well, that's a whole nother program, right there.
Okay. Wash my mouth out with soap and water.
Because we can get all in there. I mean, but
Geechee's a Creole.
Man, but see, it's a whole lot going on down there.
Yeah.
I just say that we you know how you get that fruit bowl that's full of everything. That's just the way I just say it like that. Just let it be.
They got all them floods down there. They got all them floods down there. So probably just wash in different ways, different ways. Yeah, we can relate to it like that. Yeah, we understand.
You know what I mean?
We got it.
But they're all under the umbrella of the French. That's what my dad would have told you. He was from down there too.
Oh, okay. But as just in communicating with people, I think that's the biggest problem today, you know, and it's always been that way. Right. It's communication. How can I communicate with you without me offending you? Right. You know what I mean? And you're going to offend if you're not from the same area. You may say something wrong, but a lot of us have so much pride that we say, oh, did I say something wrong? I'm sorry. This is what I know. I'll give you a quick story. You know, when I was in the Navy, you know, you know how it goes. You was Marine, you know, leatherneck, you know. Jarhead. You know.
And
Mariner, you know, I mean, you know, I ain't trying to star in them, but you know how they go. But you know, we all eat together, we all take showers and all that type of thing. So while we was on the shower, and this cat kept looking at me, man, I was like, what are you looking at? You know what I mean? I was getting offended. You know, hey, I ain't gay. You know, what are you looking at? And the guy said, you know what, I'm not gay. He said, man, I'm sorry, because I rolled up on him, you know, and we're in the shower.
He heard a myth, right?
And that's exactly what it was. He said, man, I was always, you know, taught that, you know, black folks had tails. He was looking for a tail. Instead of me choking him out, you know, I sat and talked to him. You know what I mean? And we became best of friends while he was there until, you know, I you know, we got orders and we separated. I've never seen him since, but I mean, that still goes on, you know? And
With stereotypes.
It's sad, but with all the technology and everything, you know, things are getting exposed, and you know, folks that's doing these bad things or have been doing these things, they're getting exposed also. They are. You know, truth is coming out one way or the other.
Yeah. And like I said, the thing that really got with me when the first era hit me in my spirit is that I've been watching the trends in not only what I saw yesterday in the pageant, but also in the basketball for the Final Four this year. Man, do you know how many people went broke this year on the betting pools? Man, all these underdog teams were just knocking these major teams out, and they were the underdogs. And then before that one, the movie scenario. And you were seeing these underdog movies come, and these actresses like our girl that came in. Regina King. I mean, I'm telling you, man, the less likely people and things are happening this year that Vegas couldn't even bet on.
Yeah, well,
so I'm just saying, dude, it's a major shakeup being done. Yeah. So that's what with diversity. Now in the middle of this, we got somebody at the top that has surrounded himself with what he thought was a bubble wrap to allow him to do it the way he wanted to do it as a business perspective, and not even a good business model.
Right.
Just, okay, if I say I want this to happen, it's going to happen.
Right.
And he's getting defectors there, and he's getting people that are hating on both sides of it. And so he's breeding something. And whatever there's a cause, a reaction, to the action is always a reaction. And so dwindling it down this year, 2 years into it, and you know what I'm saying, trying to finish out the rest of this stuff, right? Now we're seeing a whole lot of changes coming in now. That lets me see that, man, no matter how you stack in this deck, because we're in Satan's playground.
Oh, yeah.
This is his world. No doubt. And there's people who understand in different arenas, man, there's people that own it, and there's people that run it, And the owners, like I said, don't necessarily have to be in the same category. There's people that run it. Now, if you're running something, then you're in charge of the day-to-day activities and all that other stuff supposed to be and how it's run as an overall. But when you control it, that's a different scenario. Okay? So, although God controls everything happening, Satan's running it. Let's take it just a step where some of these people can understand it. In the prison systems, the people, the government owns the prison,
Right.
Yes.
but the prisoners run it.
They
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it goes everywhere you go. It's the
Right.
same thing, different time. So
Yes.
if we start separating the two and trying to say that, man, you can't just clump everything together.
Right.
Everything that's black is not necessarily black.
Right.
Everything that's white is not necessarily white. What about the gray areas? But in the past,
There's
we've
a
not been
lot
able to
of
get
gray
away with talking about the gray areas. Now the gray areas are
Everybody's
popping up.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that everybody is in the gray area.
Yeah.
But one thing I do notice, there's a spirit of also exposure.
Yes. About time.
And it's been going on for a minute, and it's in full bloom.
Yeah.
And that spirit goes across the board. It's not just up at president. It's everywhere.
It is.
It's churches. It's people. It's friends. You know what I mean? If you are not, I'm also Elder Troy, but I'm just saying, if you're not grounded in the
Yes.
Word,
Yeah. Stand for something or fall for anything.
you're gonna go, man.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. And it's just been a spirit of exposure.
Yeah.
And it's
So that's why the diversity part of it doesn't have to deal with, because since it's gray, it's not about black and white. It expands beyond it, like Linda, you were saying. Man, that's a full subject. That's a full subject of a long time, of a different
Well,
horse.
first of all, this country is no
Hey,
longer
Bridget.
as white as it
Ooh,
used to be.
look at you.
That's part of
That's true.
That's part of Trump's problem and his challenge.
Right.
Immigrants, women, minorities.
Yeah.
Yes, we are here,
Diversity.
full force in the workplace and everywhere else you go. And I think one of the challenges, though, is that the white male is maybe beginning to fear that they are losing some power, but they need to lose some power.
Yeah.
But they are not being misplaced by any means because things are stacked in their favor still.
Yeah.
We outnumber them, but we still don't have the things.
Well, that's
that-
been. That's always been.
But,
That's true.
but we haven't always been the majority either.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's
But we're big in numbers now. Like I said, women, minorities, and immigrants.
Well, I say we're big
So-
in thinking now because we have more knowledge.
Yes.
Okay, but
Yeah.
the application
Back
we
then.
made, but the application. See, the venue and the platform to expose what we have now is different now. The
Yes.
playing field's different, so that's
Yeah.
why it's important now
Yes.
for like the lenders to.
But the top is still.
Yeah, we understand
we
that.
we
okay.
understand
Oh,
that.
okay.
No,
But the
that-
playing field,
Right, that's what the bottom line.
And
The last is being first.
and that's what
Yeah.
Trump is trying to
Yeah.
throw grenades in that playing
Yeah, but see,
field.
And
then
especially
that's
with
what.
all the social media out there,
Oh,
we
yeah,
got
look,
access
I'm on
to
it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just talking about
Yeah.
Louisiana. Hey, Bridget,
And see,
that's
they
my
can't,
cousin
they
from
can't control
Louisiana.
that. See, that's an open
But
playing
see, that's the
field there.
different. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So now, when you're running something and you're controlling, now we're seeing a different thing of control because you got different factors coming into it and saying, okay, we're going to upset this apple cart over here, and that's what they're doing.
Well, you see what he tried to do in the NFL. Didn't work.
It
but
didn't
you see
work.
what he tried to do
But
in the NFL.
Yeah, hey, you can't. Hey, don't hate the player, hate the
Hey,
game.
hey.
You know, the game's always going to
Shout
be the
out to
game.
Kaepernick.
You know, it's always going to be the game.
Yes,
But
yes.
the application, see, as we get smarter and well learned, and we get tired, and you get tired of getting sick and tired, then you start doing the pushback. And when people start doing the pushback, and they start understanding the pushback and the platforms, see the platforms that we're having now, like we were just talking earlier on the way back here, the way that Cardi B was hated on in her background, where she came from the strip thing, from the pole,
Right.
to where she is, and then
Right,
why won't they love
right.
her? She's on all the talk shows. She's doing it. Yesterday,
Well, see, it
at
was
the Billboard
Eve
Awards,
also.
she
Way
did.
before her,
Yeah,
it
but
was Eve,
they
though.
were starters.
Yeah.
But she took it to another level.
Oh,
when
yeah,
she
she
came
did.
in and she said, "This is what I've done. Here's where I'm at now."
Right,
And she let
right.
her talent oversee everything else like that, and she put it down. She was hated. And Nikki's, all of them were just saying, "Look, I've been here. I put my place in there." But she did what she did, and then when they went to the Grammys, and she started pulling the top names down
Oh,
and doing
come on
when
now.
she did the Billboard,
Right,
and the Billboard,
right,
she was doing a
right.
duet. Nikki did a duet with Maroon 5.
Right,
Didn't
right.
pass the same competition. Cardi did one, and they won.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then when she gave her little acceptance speech, she spit it out to the haters.
Come on.
She said, "They're not here, but I am." And then she turned like a 2 steps up the wall. She's like, "Okay, I'm letting my actions speak."
Right.
Before that,
being
it was
transparent.
Yeah. Then you got to, but you got to do the work.
That's why I always say you always. I'm
but you got to do the work though.
Exactly, but
That's
you
the
have
difference.
to be transparent.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no mind readers.
But no, it's no mind readers, but it is more than work. You have to know how the game is played. So a lot of people don't know because I have always known, being in the business arena, is that people, if they can make money off of you, they will make money off of you. They don't care. Money is green.
Yeah.
They don't
That's
look
right.
at that. Yeah.
That's
right.
Yeah. And if you have something of value, if you bring something of value, the door will open
And stay open.
And it'll
For a minute. Look at R. Kelly.
But
But
Look at R. Kelly.
wait, but the good news about the door being open is, remember the movie The Spook Who Sat by the Door?
Yeah.
We don't necessarily, nowadays, we're not necessarily letting that door close because we're not going through that door for the same thing. We understand how the game is played.
Right.
See, before
Exactly.
we were being gamed.
Right.
We were being
Right.
used.
Right.
But see,
We're
the
kind of
game
halfway in, halfway out now.
Yeah, we were so glad to be in.
Right,
we
right,
were
right.
just glad to be in.
Right.
But,
Exactly.
But see, now we know what the real game
Yes,
is.
yes,
It's not.
yes.
It wasn't just the money. See, you got to have power before you get the money.
Thank you.
And they
And so the
underestimate
point
us a
is-
lot.
Huh?
They underestimate us a lot.
Oh, they gonna keep doing that.
The best thing that you can do is be in a space where you're underestimated.
That's correct.
Yeah, because they don't see you coming, and if they don't see you coming, a lot of times it's too late to stop you.
That's the part of the
yeah,
Art of
that's
War.
right.
The book, The Art of War. That's a part of that book
Every
there.
African
Being able to
American
identify.
should
Yeah, I
see
read
the
that
spook
too,
who
man.
sat by the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, to be able to identify where the enemy is, who's around the corner, whatever.
Right.
And see, that's what gave Obama the edge.
Right.
He sat there and studied.
Right.
He studied all the things in front and behind the camera, so to
yeah.
speak. So when it came time for him to talk about it, how to use it,
Right.
he went and got those young people that were doing the social media on tap. He knew that's what he needed. And then he brought in his compliance of what he did, and he did what he did and represented, and they could find no fault on him to put him through. Now he was in there,
he
they
was
said,
on it
"Oh,
way
we've got a
before
monster
then."
in the White House." So they tried to sit on it. That's okay.
Yeah, they got pictures of
That's
him all
okay.
up in Occidental College over here in Eagle Rock, where he went.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Also,
He
was doing stuff
when he
way
stepped up there,
before
he
when
was
he stepped.
prepared,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. You have to be prepared. We're all saying you have to do the work.
Right. He
The
must
thing
do the
is, when Obama stepped up there, he had lost in Chicago before, so he knew what it felt like to lose, and he
Right.
knew how to pick himself up,
Right.
and he knew what to do, and he brought people into his sphere that was willing to help him,
Right.
and he learned because everybody knows Barack Hussein Obama with a name like that. People
Right.
were saying,
Right.
So he brilliant man. I can tell you, I worked
you worked
for
on his
him.
campaign.
Yeah,
you worked on the
brilliant
campaign.
man.
Yeah.
Well educated,
Strategist.
well knowledgeable, strategist,
Yeah.
but not just him. He put brilliant people around him.
even his
You have
wife,
to.
Yeah.
even his wife.
have to.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
oh my
You
goodness,
have
him
to.
who finds his wife finds a good
Right.
thing.
Right.
That man
That was
found a
it.
good thing. That
He
was a
gotta
staple.
be equally yoked.
Lord, yes,
when,
he did.
It was
when he walked
equally
out
yoked.
there, remember
Yeah.
how they were making fun of him? He was talking about hope, and they was all that hopey, hoopy stuff.
Oh no.
He knew what the people wanted to
Right.
hear, not what they wanted to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Right.
people wanted to hear.
But he stayed grounded.
he stayed
Yeah.
grounded.
He
He
did.
stayed
Stayed
true
grounded.
to what
He did.
what he stepped out there.
And
for.
every
did.
black person that ever watched him when he was in, we used to go, watch how he walked.
Oh, he.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
I said, he ain't. I said, that's an educated hood right there. I said,
Yes.
check that walk out.
He put wag in the word
Man,
swag.
come on.
Man, he had swag.
And
for
when,
real.
and when he won, he limped even more. I
Yeah,
said,
man. Yeah,
He
man.
survived
I said,
Chicago.
he did-
Yes, he
yeah,
did.
right
He
there.
survived the south
Come on
side of
now.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And
But
two
there-
terms in
but there's
office.
so many of
Oh,
us.
yeah.
Okay, and
There's
two
so
terms
many-
in office.
Right, that's
Okay,
what I'm
that's a
saying.
lot, dude.
Yes.
To come and they were hating him ever since he walked in the door. But yet and still,
And they
he
still
got a
hate
second term. We ain't got enough black folks to put him in there.
Come
So
on.
for that second term, it wasn't
We
us that
didn't
kept
put
him
him in
there.
there.
That's- come-
Yeah, we
There you
did.
go.
We did. because he had 98% of the black vote. So,
how much
But no, I'm saying it wasn't just black people that put him in there, but he couldn't have been, but he wouldn't have been in there without us.
No, of course.
We got
Of course.
we gave him
Right,
90,
of
he got
course.
98% of the
Right.
black vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he
And
had
there
some
was
white folks along the way, even after the first
He
term.
had some everything along the way.
Even after the
Yes, he
first
did.
term.
He had some everything
Yes, he
along the
did.
way.
Yeah, so-
He
I
was-
love him, man, because him and his wife never changed colors.
No,
They
no.
stayed
They
black.
stayed
Yeah,
the same.
yeah,
Okay,
You know-
and they'll let you know it.
right.
and
But
they
it-
still are.
Oh,
He's putting his
Yeah.
his library right in the area
In the neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah,
In the hood.
in
In the hood.
Chicago,
Come on
where
now.
they grew up.
Right.
He went right back to Chicago.
Of course.
And
And
he's
they
got-
want to. They want. They
And he's
want
got
to help
he's got a award thing tomorrow with the name of the street right there
Oh,
on Crenshaw.
really?
Yeah, Crenshaw and Rodeo
at
Road.
11 to
What?
ladies and
They're naming
gentlemen.
it
For,
Obama Boulevard.
Wait.
What?
Not only is it Crenshaw, they are connecting
What?
Obama Boulevard
Yeah.
to Martin Luther King Jr.
That's exactly
Oh,
right.
now you're saying
Now
something.
that's heavy.
so for those that like you got to go on to what is it, Monica? What's the website?
Going to Eventbrite. They have all the tickets there.
Yeah.
It's free. They're going to have concerts all day tomorrow, starting at 10 in the morning. It goes all day. They're going to do the presentation.
Yo-Yo,
for his,
Dougie Fresh.
his street
Yeah.
tomorrow
All of
about
them.
4:30.
Yo-yo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you gotta have tickets.
Yes.
And you get the tickets from Obama. It's called
Go to Eventbrite.
Eventbrite.
Go to Eventbrite.
Eventbrite.com.
Oh, I went to Obama Fest,
Eventbrite.
Obama Fest event.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, and that's that Obama Fest event. By Bright.
You
Yeah,
guys
so that's
hear
what I'm
that?
saying.
Oh, yeah, go get
Yeah.
your tickets.
Listeners, did y'all hear that?
Because you need
the
tickets.
tickets are
The
free.
tickets are free, but you need to get you need to register.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because they're really he's not going to be there, but Weston's going to be there. They're going to clamp it down real hard.
All of our
They
public
want you to
officials are there.
want you to register with your tickets because they're going to give out 1,000 T-shirts that what do they call them? Commemorative
Yeah.
T-shirts to the first 1,000 people
Yeah.
with tickets. So it might be more people there, but
Right.
if you get a ticket, you have a better chance of getting a
Yeah.
T-shirt.
And it's obamafest.event.com. So you guys have got to register. Don't get up there thinking you're going to party with everybody and not have no registration tickets.
Come on.
Because you will get turned away.
Right.
You might get trampled on the way.
Right.
So no,
Right.
that's our commercial for
If you
today. You know
guys
what I'm
think
saying?
about it, we got actually President's Row right there on Crenshaw.
That's exactly
'Cause
correct.
You got
Right.
Jefferson, you got Washington, you
Adams.
got Adams, They
And
just
now you
keep
got
on going.
Obama.
Now we got Obama.
Now you got Obama and Martin
And
Luther.
it connects to Dr. Martin Luther King
Exactly.
Jr. Boulevard.
Dr.
Yes.
Martin Luther the King.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think if he would have survived, he might have been running for president
Yeah.
himself.
Oh,
I think it was on that way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they said. Oh no, we got to get rid of him.
He's
Oh,
on the
yeah.
mall in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he
But you
is.
know what?
Yeah.
You know, by me, driving the truck, and I'm all over the place.
Right.
I've seen a lot of Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Yeah.
Everywhere in New Orleans.
Even
Everywhere there's a black area. Everywhere there's a black area.
Riverside. I was like,
And you know what?
Wow.
That's going to happen with Obama too. And my sister wants to start a campaign to get him on Mount Everest.
Oh, wow.
Not Mount Everest, but
Rushmore.
Rushmore.
Oh wow! Wouldn't that be a
Rushmore.
click?
hey, that would be good. But I
Money
think
talks.
they try to blow that whole thing up before they put him on there.
I told him, I said, you might as well build his own separate mountain
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, that's all right.
Right.
No, I
him
think
right
that
there in the
would be
center of
honorary.
Chicago.
Yeah, because that's in Georgia, so it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay.
All right, all right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The look of the underdog this year, man, has just been so astronomical. And then you had Tiger act the fool the other day.
And one.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah. Now, how
man.
long's it been? Last time we saw him, he
You
was
know
getting
I'm a
chased
golf
with a golf
junkie.
cart, with a golf
Yeah.
club by the wife, and
Yeah.
went out. And man, to come back and take it like that, when
Wait a
all
minute.
these guys had all these years to
Got
take over the
two.
field because he was gone, and man, he
Two
did
green
it
jackets.
and came from behind and did it. That boy putting it down. So I'm just saying.
Man.
And then now, look, he's going to the White House next week to be honored by the president.
he's
Wait a minute.
gonna go.
I hope.
He's going to go.
He got his boat docked in New York to
I
go.
hope they don't
He's gotta
give him
dock.
no chicken nuggets.
Right about now, I think he don't care because he's representing the black. Okay,
Right.
he's saying you've got to even bow down
Well, I'm
to
just
this
saying,
too.
No more
You know what I'm saying?
McDonald.
Well, that was crazy. That was crazy, wasn't it? With the football players.
Man, that was.
Yeah.
Oh.
He
But, you know.
just did that with the girls' team as well.
You know what? You know that's his favorite place. They say to eat him hamburgers. He might have a contract of kickback, or he might be having a business.
Hey, you know what? You never know.
So anyway, folks, that's what I'm saying.
That's sad.
Hashtag diversity rocks.
True, though,
yeah.
You know?
So now, Miss M, now you work with a lot of diversity over where you're working at your company, and you're going out, and you're also in the department that brings in new hires and talks to them, and you were laughing about some of the people that come in there with the booty shorts and all that other stuff.
Wait a minute,
and she was telling me, but I said the same thing you did.
Yeah.
I did the same. Go ahead, Miss M.
It's the millennials. Generation X has not taught them how to dress professionally. So when they come in and they get hired and they're coming in for their orientation, I'm seeing them with their shorts on. I'm seeing the guys wearing shorts and flip-flops because nobody has taught them how to dress when you come to work. And so I had a problem with that. So I called up the HR department. I said, are you training these kids when they come in? Because they're just right out of college. So whatever they wore to college, that's what they're wearing to work. And I said, this is not working because you got baby boomers there, you got even some that are before me that are still working there, and we have an issue with that. It's not professional. You're dealing with other companies, you're dealing with vice presidents of companies, we're negotiating contracts, and there's not a good look for my company when you got people sitting at the table just like that. And not to say that I came up in a generation where it was corporate America. The guys wore a suit and tie. Only choices you had was brown, black, blue, or gray. If it wasn't that, you wasn't coming in. It was always a white shirt.
Hey, and I got all those.
Oh yeah.
I was
And ladies
right.
always dressed nice. They wore the nice dresses and nice suits and stuff. But that's the age we came up.
But companies, not parents, companies trained their employees. Because I look at these kids, not only in your company, even when they're working in a Walmart or anywhere, they are not trained.
No.
I guess training is the first thing to go out the door.
It is.
When they go through human resources, there should be a training program.
That's exactly correct.
It should go all the way back.
That's correct.
I went to Sarah High, and they taught that in school.
But
look where you went.
But different companies have different.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, Sierra High.
But I'm saying they did it at Dorsey. They did it at Washington.
Because they knew we had to have that.
Growing up, that's what
they knew we had to have that.
Then they taught us how to fill out applications and all that type of stuff.
Speaking in training, my first 12, 15 years out here, corporations, companies trained their employees, and that included how they're going to act. What these people won't say thank you. I can tell when they haven't been trained and they are not training. Not just how they're dressing, how they're acting.
Right.
They're on the cash register. They're doing whatever they're doing. They're having a conversation.
They have no customer
service skills. But that's the company. That's the company needs to train you. You invest in your people by training them.
But see, where they're bringing in all these millennials from college, and they're putting them in these management positions, and so you got millennials trying to train millennials. Millennials don't know what's going on, so how are we going to train somebody else?
So you especially people like me who
but you said when you said something that resonates is that a lot of it is our fault.
Who's our fault? The parent?
Older generation, we slipping. We slept.
Yeah, but look, when they enter the profession, the workplace, every company has their own guidelines, their own standards, their own, don't they?
But they've relaxed it. They relaxed it. They relaxed it a lot.
They must have just relaxed it over the last 5 years.
You know what I see, honestly, and just being transparent, we have a lot of just speaking on men. And it's go for women too, but there's a lot of boys in grown men bodies. There's a lot of women, girls in grown women bodies. The maturity level is just gone and is out the door. How many times that you see, and I know it's going to be a big number that even if you walk out here. And you see a grown up, they still in khakis, t-shirts, and trucks, and I'm like, they're trying to wear the same thing that these millennials is wearing. But see, there's no distinction. How are they going to respect you if you looking like them? You
Well,
know what I mean?
that's a
See, when
different
we
profession.
grew up, there was a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
You knew that
Right,
who was
who,
wrong,
and what was-
and you know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
Uh-oh,
Hold on.
Linda said,
I
hold
have
on.
to say,
Okay.
that is why millennials don't talk to us. You can dress like them and get their respect. You can look like them and get their respect. I don't have to go and put on I came out of the real estate financing market where everybody, she's right, suits, whoop, doop-de-doop. I get to the speaking arena and it's not like that. They don't wear, you go
No,
and
no,
find,
but
no,
that's-
hold
that's
on, but wait a minute,
Oh, wait a minute, hold on a
making a
second.
point.
Go ahead, Linda.
I'm making a point. When kids, or my little grandson, his mom let him, he has kind of blondish, you've seen him,
that's
kind of
right.
hair. She let him put some blue on the tip. that just, 10 years old,
I know, drives you
so I
crazy.
agree what you're saying. But when they cross into the professional arena, if we're putting me down because suddenly I have to look a certain way because they have to look, no, we need to teach, we need to train. And if someone is going to come to work for me, my company, these are our standards.
Right,
or they don't come here, go over there where you can wear your booty shorts. Go get on a pole where you can wear your booty. They wear booty
we got
shorts.
that.
But you're saying that if the parent is dressing a certain way, he can't get any respect.
Well, no. It's not just that. When they're dressing that way, they're being more. How
Not
can I say-
necessarily.
Let me say it like
Inclusive,
this.
trying to be inclusive with the
Trying to-
kids.
trying to be their
Right.
friend.
They're trying to be
their
Living
friend.
vicariously through the
Instead
kids.
of being the parent.
Right, that's exactly
They mimic their
See,
parents.
that's the
Right.
difference. There's a difference. Back in our day,
There's a difference.
they were rearing the kids. Now they're raising the kids.
Look,
right,
and there's a
come on
difference.
now.
But wait-
One of them is you got to have a relationship, and the other one is you just got to be there.
I'm not gonna be your
For
friend.
the-
I'm
for the
gonna be your
DCSS
parent.
won't come down and get you.
That's right.
You can be their friend if
No.
I ain't gonna
be their
saying,
friend.
Well, I'm not saying hang out, party with them and
Right.
stuff, but I'm saying.
But you see that
You
now,
can-
though.
Yeah.
The reason I know you can be their friend because I have a set of rules at my house.
Mm-hmm.
My grandchildren are one way at home, and when they come to me and my husband, they know the rules.
Right.
They know
Right,
the rules.
right.
I don't have to not be their friend. As a matter of fact, I mush all over them.
Well, what
But
we're saying as in friend, what we're saying is.
I
No, but Linda, I know what you're saying.
I don't want you to
Wait.
sit here and blame the
Yes,
parent
go ahead,
because
Linda.
our days. Look at me and Monica.
Right, uh-huh.
Women our age used to look 20 years older, act 20 years older,
Right, exactly.
dress 20 years older.
I got you.
I'm not going there because somebody think I'm old and I should. If I want to put on some 3-inch heels, I'll put them on. If
Right,
I want to
right,
go
I got you.
bare-legged,
Well,
I
ain't
go
nobody
bare-legged.
saying that you-
Okay,
you
but
know,
no, but
you don't have to
but
do
what
that.
I'm
Watch
I
it,
mean,
watch
but
it, watch
I'm-
it.
There's a
this-
time
no,
and a
but what I'm
place.
saying,
Watch
but I
this.
guarantee you, you met my two
Right,
because
exactly.
we interviewed them on the Millennial
Yes.
Journal. Do I have their respect?
Yes, you do.
So
And they're
and
grown
I'll
women.
put on some jeans
And these
with
grown
them,
women.
and we go skating with them.
Right.
But yeah, they grown. They 19. They both in college now.
That is so far few in between. We're like that because we were brought up like that. I have 4 grown men, and they all respect me. You know what I mean? But there is that line where now see as they're grown now, and I got 4 grandchildren. Telling my age out here. All right, so the thing is that. Man.
But in defense of rearing, though, let me say one thing. See, men were different because, see, we know that as a man and you raising your 3 boys, they know somewhere along the line you showed them that you would knock their head off their block.
Oh.
Women, it's a whole different perspective on this one. Here. But I'm just saying, you got to look at. You got to look at.
Some women.
I got aunties.
I want to start the beehive. Okay, go ahead.
But no, 85% of our homes was raised by a single woman.
That's what I'm saying.
So it doesn't mean that she was loose or she was anything.
Right.
The man wasn't there. She
Right.
did the best she could.
But that's home training.
It's home training.
Right.
But what
we
I'm
don't have
saying
that.
is when you have yes, we do. Don't say we don't.
Not
have
as a
that now.
totality, in other words.
We
But
have
nothing's
it.
totality.
We
Right,
have,
right,
it's a
exactly.
different era. I was at a place yesterday, a business.
Mm-hmm.
I won't call the name. I was doing a workshop.
Front 'em.
And they have music piped in like we have it here.
Mm-hmm.
But in the back, the brothers, 2 brothers and a Latino guy, they were at lunch
Mm-hmm.
and they were playing a rap full of 4-letter words.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. It was going through the air. The N-word and 4-letter words, nasty words,
Mm-hmm.
nasty words. So when I went to my lunch, went to the lady and I said, I have another half a day. Am I going to have to be exposed to that?
Wow. Right. Mm-hmm.
And she said, no, you don't. But nobody told them to turn it down.
Exactly, yeah.
What you thought they was going to play Al Green or something?
Probably scared of them.
This is a workplace.
That don't mean nothing.
Okay.
Not now.
So no, but this is my point.
Okay.
If they were in my business, I don't care what their mama let them do.
But
Exactly.
that's your business.
No, but I'm saying it Monica, you did the right thing. No, Monica, you did the right thing, right? Did you hear
In
what
my
she
workplace-
said? Did you
in my
hear what she
workplace,
said?
we
I
do a
called
lot of
HR.
events.
She said I called HR and
We
said
have a lot of events in
this
my
is not-
workplace, and they do what they're accustomed to doing, and a lot of times it is wrong what they're doing, and they'll bring it to the workplace.
But
when
whose
we're
fault
having
is it
like
if it's
family
happening
day
at your
and all
work?
this other stuff,
Whose fault
and they
is
feel like it's okay, and then when we cross them about it, they feel like we're attacking.
You shouldn't
them.
have. You shouldn't have.
Because
Yeah,
you're
but-
from that generation. That's the way they come back.
But
at us.
but wait, but they're hired already, right? But no, they're hired already, right?
Yeah,
You
they're
are
already
attacking
hired.
them. If they hire them like
Yeah.
that and they
And
let
I'm
them do
like-
that,
Right.
you are
And so our
attacking
HR
them.
department tells me, they're like, well, we're going to let their managers handle it. I said, you know what? I got that. I'll handle it myself.
Yeah, you-
See, I'm from that generation. You don't pass the buck. You handle
Right.
it yourself.
My mama,
Right,
my
right.
And
mama,
so I talk
Right.
to these kids and I say,
Right.
no, you can't do that here.
Right.
I'm not your manager. You don't report to me, but that's disrespectful. to the
But she didn't
people
hire
around
them.
you.
She didn't hire them, and they didn't train them. They may not want to listen to her.
Right.
She may have some pushback.
But here's the
wait a
point.
minute.
She
If
went
you
and
show up
said
for a job,
something. A lot of us is so
Well, I
scared
know
to go
it, I
talk
know
to
it.
these
Yeah,
kids.
they're scared.
That's right.
And I haven't met a
I
kid yet. and I'm
don't
scared of
have problems with them because I go and
They
talk to
should
them.
not. They don't care. If you hire somebody in your business and you let them come into your business
Right.
that you have built,
No,
and
we got that.
wait a minute, and behave like that, that's your fault. That is not
Right.
mama's fault.
Right.
That's not the
Right.
manager's fault. That
Right.
because a management is managing. Wait a minute, managers manage what you. The manage
Right.
what the
Right.
COO puts in there.
Right, but if they had
they're
home
managing.
training, you wouldn't have to do all
No,
that.
that doesn't have anything to do with home training.
I had home training.
Right,
And see,
right.
I've always been in corporate America since I was 13. And my mama told me, this is how you dress when you go to work.
Right.
This is how you dress when you go play. So
Right.
I had in my closet church clothes.
Come on now.
Play
See?
We
clothes.
did, we did.
And work
Wait a minute.
clothes.
But
and
that's
you
not-
still have it.
But now
I got church
No,
clothes.
no, we don't. No, we
Yes.
don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
And I got
I
work
see
clothes.
grown women at church. No, they don't. I see grown women at church look like they just came from the
Yeah.
club.
Not my church.
Yeah,
But you
and
know
mine.
what?
Even if they did,
But you know what?
the Lord said, "Come
That's
as you
what-
are."
yeah, that's what they say.
Lord,
Thank
come
you.
as you are. But after a certain amount of time, you got to show some fruit.
Yeah, but here's another thing, though. See, that
Here it
goes
is.
to our point there, hashtag diversity rocks. Because we're in a place now to where like at her company, which sponsors everything going from this coast to the West Coast. I mean, she's in aerospace. And she didn't tell you who she's working for, but she's one of the major players in the field. And so you've got billions of dollars coming through each location. See, then everybody's got to have their own corner. And if they're satisfied with this over their corner, then they're going to leave that alone.
Right.
That's what they do. They're not trying to, who's ever at the top is saying, let's make that money,
Right.
let's keep it going. And I
That's
can
it.
understand
They don't
defense
care.
contractors that
Obviously,
happen.
they don't
But if
care.
you're in a smaller business or whatever, small workplace, then it's more definite. You can see it more,
Right.
and you can pretty much put the finger on a little more. So
Right.
see, there's differences with diversity, and that we got to embrace diversity. We love diversity
Right.
because if it doesn't inclusively, we wouldn't have the things we have today.
Well,
So
here's-
What's
go
going
ahead.
to happen is a lot of people are going to do like me. They're going to go online because they are rude. Not. It's not just about dress. They're not being trained. They're
Right.
not
They're
being
not.
trained
I got it.
how to be in this space.
No.
How are you going to blame a kid who grew up over here, went to college, and was okay? They go over here to the employer who used to be the stop at the door. You can't come in here with that.
Right.
They're not doing that anymore. And then they show up, and someone like her or me are saying, "What?" You know, so if they're not stopping it, that's where I put the blame, because there's a whole industry out there where I used to make my money on training. They
Right.
train their employees. They trained adults. You come from. They train
Well, I'm
people.
not saying
they,
too
they,
much, but I was a
but they
trainer.
train.
I
But
owned
they
two businesses at
they
one
trained
point.
people that was.
It's all good.
They trained people that were
But you
coming
couldn't
from
do that at mine.
one Wells Fargo bank to another Wells Fargo bank. You went through training.
Right.
One Bank of America bank to another Bank of America bank. You went through training. You weren't even going outside of there. So, and they don't do that. I'm not
Well-
I'm not saying Bank of America or Wells Fargo don't do that.
No.
I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm
it
just
just-
saying a lot of companies don't do that
That's
anymore.
exactly correct.
And then you have people show up where a manager like her, who's conscientious have to deal with that. And I don't think that's who should be
Motown is a
dealing with
record
it.
label used to sit there and they used to train,
Right.
implement, do it. So everybody does what they do differently. So this
Right.
public service announcement is coming out from D Nice on the Gospel Jazz Connection. For those that really don't know how to get it done, call Linda.
Thank
That
you.
is her
That's
thing.
right.
She
That's
will
my
get you
thing.
on point,
That's right.
and you ain't got to worry about it no
That's
more in
right.
life.
Hey, look.
Hey.
And
Keep it
from
short.
Linda,
Look, wait a minute.
and from Linda, train those kids because let me tell you something. They
Keep it
may
short.
leave your company and go somewhere else, and then they're not hired because of that, or they're fired because of that, or they're not accepted because of that. And I think that these companies ought to put some money into training them the way they want them to be. And I agree. I would feel attacked too if you hire me and bring me through the door and don't say nothing.
Right. It's
Right.
okay. Now, so thank you. That's our last parting word. I like that at the time. Yeah. So you could have got no water. Oh, Miss M, go ahead and give us some parting
Go ahead,
words.
Miss M.
I would say that you need to listen to people that are elder to you, that have been there in the workforce for a long time. They know what they're doing. They've been there a long time. They understand, and they can tell you how to prepare for your day-to-day job. They know how to tell you how to dress, how to respect people, and you'll get a lot more out of us who have the knowledge. You just got the book sense. You haven't been there long enough to have the
Right.
knowledge of how to work and
The
teach
wisdom.
these things. And I'm working in aerospace with engineers. Just because you got engineering behind your degree doesn't mean that you know anything yet. You haven't got your feet wet.
That's right.
So you need to listen to people that are trying to help you. They're not intimidated by you. They're not threatened by you. They're trying to help you because we're ready to get out.
That's real. Okay,
I'll
thank
be
you.
honest, I'm 63. I'm ready to get out.
I
need somebody
appreciate
to
you.
replace me.
All right, Box, go ahead and bring it.
You know I keep it short and simple. I'm gonna say this.
No, you don't. No. I can resist.
Wow.
I'm gonna keep it short and simple, all right? You know, I'm pretty transparent. I'll just say this. Everybody is not meant for the penthouse. Some is only meant for the house party. If
That's
you get
it.
what I'm saying.
Oh man,
that's it. I
he
got
just
that.
said, he just said don't hate the player, hate the game. Hey, and so that's what we've been doing today on Diversity Rocks. We had 3 different people with 3 different opinions, and that's what we've been telling you guys. You know, so no matter what you do, if you want to change your life to adapt to what's going on in the world, find somebody who can help you. There's Linda out here. Companies listen to her. You know, what I'm saying she can be Linda. You can be reached where?
My website is businessdevelopmentforsuccess.com. That's businessdevelopmentforsuccess.com.
Good. And Box, where can they reach you?
At BOXX09@gmail.com.
And Ms. M, do you want anybody to reach you?
You can reach me at gospeljazzconnection@yahoo.com.
You heard it here.
All
Ladies
right.
and gentlemen, thanks for another week of the show. Man, like I say each and every week, you know, so we had a great time. I thank you for the time and the space and let me come into your home. And congratulations to our sisters that's on the rise and our newest Miss North Kakalaki for becoming Miss USA for 2019, and the young teenager that is a black African American, whatever you're, and she is there to represent the teens of the day. So no matter what you do, where you go, just know if you put God first, everything else will follow. Until next week, this is the Gospel Jazz Connection, where you hear it, but most importantly, you watch with your ears. See you next week.